ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to be here today at this significant juncture, for we have all come together to discuss a burdening issue that does not only affect the delegates of the United Nations, but also the 7 billion people of the world. That is the upcoming selection and appointment of the Secretary General. The Secretary General is the most important international figure of the world. The international community looks up to the person holding this office for guidance, leadership, and solutions to the world's deepest and gravest crises, from climate change to terrorism, from nuclear disarmament to human rights issues, from women empowerment to conflict resolution and mediation. However, since the inception of the United Nations, the process to select the crucial figure has been dominated by procedures contrary to those which this organization upholds, mainly transparency, equality, democracy, and independence. In matters pertaining to the supreme leadership of the United Nations, we cannot remain still, and we cannot continue to waver. We must refuse to accept the status quo. The time has come for change. We hear the calls from the member states, civil society, and the unfortunate individuals most affected by the scourge of war. If we all want change, we must still change. So was the call of the Holy Father yesterday. 2015 marks the 70th anniversary of the United Nations, as well as the year to congregate the selection process for the new Secretary General. We need to get the ball rolling in order to bring about the much-needed reform in the process for next year. I am convinced that if we all work towards this goal, we can still changes to select the best possible candidate. I heartily welcome the reforms adopted in the area of selection and appointment of the Secretary General by the ad hoc working group on the revitalization of the General Assembly. But they are not enough. Resolution affirming the readiness to continue discussing all the issues relating to the selection and appointment of the Secretary General in all their aspects has been accepted. We have been in the discussion mode since 1945, especially when it comes to the term, selection, and appointment of the Secretary General. And I wonder how many years will it take to bring about concrete transformations? The transformation of the United States urgently requires. For many years, Costa Rica has been forging a path towards change, especially within the working methods of the Security Council. We have done so guided by 4 basic principles: democracy, transparency, equality, and independence. I have come here today to discuss these 4 basic principles and why they should stand to be vital in the process of the election of the Secretary General. Costa Rica believes that democracy is synonymous with inclusivity. All member states represented in the General Assembly, and not just the 15 members of the Security Council, should be involved in this election process. We need the General Assembly to take a more active and robust role. We continue to stand firm on our demand that the Security Council submit a list of 2 or more candidates to the General Assembly in order for us to vote and to have a Secretary General chosen in a truly democratic manner. Not only do we deserve a voice in the process, but we also deserve sight into the process, which takes me to the principle of transparency. An open, transparent, merit-based selection process with a sense of predictability, conducted in a timely and structured manner, is the need of the hour. In this regard, I welcome the adoption of the ad hoc working group's proposal to request the presidents of the General Assembly and the Security Council to jointly circulate to all member states on an ongoing basis the names of individuals that have been submitted for consideration as candidates for the position of Secretary General, with an accompanying documents, including curricula vitae. I also highly appreciate the committee's proposal that the General Assembly conduct hearings or meetings with candidates running for the post of Secretary General. This brings me to the next principle, equality, which should be fulfilled this time around. The time has come to select a female Secretary General. As we all know, the past 8 Secretary Generals have all been men, and even though this is merely a fact, should qualifications among candidates be equal, we should choose a woman. This is not to discriminate, but rather to uphold the principle of equality and empower the women of today and tomorrow. We all take pride in the fact that Costa Rica presented and defended within the ad hoc working committee the invitation to member states to consider presenting women as candidates for the position of Secretary General, and that our proposal is now reflected on the text. The fourth and last principle that should guide our efforts should be the principle of independence. In order for the United Nations to do its job more effectively, we need our Secretary General to discharge her duties in moral authority, integrity, and courage. We need a Secretary General who's strong, unbiased, and uncompromised. In this sense, he or she shouldn't be concerned with campaigning, re-election favoritisms, and undue promises, but instead should be focused on the present global concerns, which cry for our utmost attention. In order to engender greater focus and independence within the post, we suggest that the term of office be changed to a single, non-renewable term of 7 years. The precedents for the idea have existed since the inception of the United Nations in 1945, but we must remember that whomever we select should be a highly qualified, a visionary leader, as he or she will be held accountable to do their jobs well by all. It should be a matter of highest priority for us that the term of the Secretary General be revised before the election in 2016. Else, we will find ourselves stuck in a limbo involving discussions and deliberations as we have been for the last 70 years. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all, therefore, come together in good faith and with enthusiasm to take action for the betterment of all, so as to instill the 4 principles of democracy, transparency, equality, and independence into the process of this election and appointment of the next Secretary General. The time is right. The time is now. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that very powerful statement. Now over to Her Excellency Marina Kaliurand.